Good morning, everybody. Beth Combs here. Um, Getting set up for our morning yoga class in my little apartment here at Bryce. Hope you're doing well. Hope you slept well. And thank you so much for joining me live. Sorry I was a couple minutes late. Facebook always wants to take me to my business page whenever I'm on Facebook, and that is not what I'm trying to do right now. Um, let me. So hopefully you're doing well. We're gonna do some core work this morning, waking up the core. And so the core area in Pilates is actually anywhere from your butt all the way up to your shoulders. Um, I'm gonna be focused mostly when I say core, I tend to speak more to kind of the area between just below your belly button and all the way up to your rib cage. Actually all the way down to your pubic bone and up to your rib cage. And so we're going to be focused on that area. So the third chakra is the chakra of the will. And I always like to say the second chakra is where our dreams come to life, where they manifest or at least present themselves to us. And the third chakra is what gives us the energy and the drive to actually make those dreams reality. So I realized I hadn't done any core work in a while earlier this week, and I was like, oh, I should probably do that. So, of course, um, I did a little bit yesterday, and I'm feeling a little tender. I don't think that you'll feel super sore or anything like that, so I wouldn't be too worried about that with what we're doing today. Oh, it will probably be a little less intense just because it's so early in the morning. So, again, I hope you're doing well, and we'll go ahead and get started. So, I'm sitting up on a bolster because my hips are tight. If you've got a blanket or a pillow and you'd like to sit up on something, feel free to do so. I want to make sure my hips are above my knees, so usually that takes quite a bit of leverage for that to happen. So we'll go ahead and sit on either the mat or a cushion if that's what we've got, or even a block. Sometimes I use a block. We'll really root down into those sits bones and then lengthen up the spine and out the crown of the head. We're going to take 3 rounds of breath where we inhale through the nose and then exhale out the mouth, and you can make as much noise as you need to here. Then you can feel free to close your mouth and take traditional yoga breathing, which is in through the nose and out through the nose. But if you're feeling wound up or particularly anxious this morning, you might want to continue to exhale through the mouth. That actually helps engage our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest system. So we'll take a few rounds of breath here. Again, you can place your hands in your lap. You could place the hands palms down on the thighs, or you could flip the palms up if you're feeling more receptive this morning. And then we'll invite a little bit of movement here. So we're going to take our right hand, place it next to our right hip. We'll inhale the left arm up alongside the left ear. And then exhale and fold over to the right any amount. Maybe gaze up under that left arm. We'll inhale, come back up to center. And then we'll switch sides. So inhale that right arm up alongside the right ear. Exhale, fold over to the left any amount. Feel free to gaze up under that right arm. We'll We'll inhale, come back to center, and then go ahead and change the cross of the legs. So we always have a default way we like to sit, and we like to kind of balance that out a little bit by changing up how we have the legs placed. So we're going to inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, rotate over to the right with our left hand on our right knee. As we inhale, we'll sit up a little taller. As we exhale, we'll rotate a little bit more. We want to make sure we're rotating from our abdominals. We don't want to be using our hand to crank ourselves over. And once you've gone as far as you can gaze over that right shoulder. Then we'll inhale, we'll come back to center, and then we'll switch directions. So we'll take the right hand onto the left knee. We'll inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, rotate over to the left. Again, inhale, get taller. Exhale, rotate a little bit more. You can gaze over that left shoulder once you've gone as far as you can. Then we'll inhale, we'll come back to center. And then we're gonna, if you're sitting on something, go ahead and move it out of the way. We're gonna come into tabletop position on hands and knees. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow here, just kind of wake up the abdominals and the psoas. So you want to make sure your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. We're going to inhale and lift the forehead and the tailbone up. And then we're going to exhale and pull the belly button back towards the spine. So we'll inhale to come up. Exhale, pull back. Inhale up. Exhale back. And then take 2 more following your own breath and your own pace. And then we'll all meet back in tabletop position. We'll do a little warm up for our abdominals next. We're going to bring the right fingertips out in front of us, bring the left toes back behind us. We'll inhale. And then on our next exhale, we're going to lift up the right arm and the left leg, or you can leave the leg on the floor, just whatever your body needs this morning. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Take 5 good breaths here. We'll exhale, lower down. Inhale, exhale, switch sides. So left fingertips out in front, right toes back behind us. We'll inhale. And then on our next exhale, we'll lift the left arm and the right leg. So you really want to reach through those fingertips, press through that back heel. You want to make sure your foot is in line with your hip. You don't want your leg way up in the air. 3 more breaths. Then we'll exhale, lower everything down. And then we're going to step the feet up in between the hands and take a forward fold. So feel free to bend the knees here. It's your first forward fold of the day. You can clasp your elbows. Maybe sway a little from side to side. You could shake your head no and nod your head yes. And then we'll bend the knees, sweep the arms up and around, and exhale the hands to heart center. And I realize I'm a little too close to the wall, so give me just a second. We're going to set up for our sun salutations next. So we'll do 5 rounds here just because they're such a great way to kind of warm the body up. So we'll stand at the top of the mat, feet shoulder width apart. You can stand with the big toes touching as well. But again, since my hips are pretty tight, I find that that is a really uncomfortable position for me. So again, tuning into our bodies, seeing what we need each step of the way throughout the practice. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. You can lower to tabletop and then lower the torso all the way down to the mat. We want to pull our tailbone towards our heels, and we'll inhale up to a little baby cobra. Then we're going to exhale. We're going to come back through tabletop and then pull the hips up and back for downward facing dog. And feel free to pedal the feet out here. And then we'll step the feet up in between the hands. We'll inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. We've got 4 more here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. You can lower to tabletop and then all the way to the mat. We're going to pull that tailbone towards the heels. Inhale, lift the torso up into cobra. Exhale, pull the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Then we'll step the feet up in between the hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. We've got 3 more here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. You can lower to tabletop and all the way to the mat. Pull the tailbone towards the heels. Inhale the torso up to cobra. And then exhale, pull up and back to downward facing dog. So in down dog, we want to make sure that the weight is even between our hands and our feet. So if you need to push yourself further back or bring yourself forward a little more, feel free to do so. You can also bend your knees here if your hamstrings are tight. Then we'll step the feet up in between the hands. We'll inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. Exhale the hands to heart center. We've got 2 more here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Lower down to tabletop and all the way to the mat. We'll pull the tailbone towards the heels. We'll inhale up to cobra, or you can lift the legs for upward facing dog. And then exhale, pull the hips back for downward facing dog. And you want to make sure that the weight in your hands is mostly between your thumb and your index finger, and that helps to protect your wrist. Then we'll step the feet up in between the hands. We'll inhale the torso halfway up. We're going to exhale and fold forward. Then we'll inhale, sweep the arms up and around. And exhale the hands to heart center. We'll do 1 more here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, and you can lower to tabletop or through chaturanga, push up all the way down to the mat. Flip the toes so the tops of the feet are on the mat. Pull the tailbone towards the heels. You want all 10 toes pressing into the mat. And then you're going to inhale up to cobra or lift the legs for upward facing dog. And then you're going to exhale and pull the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Then we'll step the feet up in between the hands. We'll inhale and lift the torso halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around. And exhale the hands at heart center. We'll take a few breaths here in our mountain pose. Really feel those roots growing and connecting with the earth, grounding and centering us for our day ahead. Then we'll go ahead and face the side of the mat, and we're going to step the feet 3 to 4 feet apart. We'll pick up the left heel, move it away from us a tiny bit, pick up the right toes and rotate them out. And then we're actually going to flip onto the left toes for crescent pose. So we're going to bend our right knee at a 90-degree angle. So we want to at least make sure the knee is tracking above the ankle. If you can't get to a 90 degree, that's fine. Just make sure your right knee is above that right ankle. You want to be reaching through the left heel behind you. We're going to bring the arms up alongside the ears, and we're going to start in a diagonal with our torso. Just kind of wake up that psoas and that hip flexor on the left side. Remember to breathe here. You can also always drop that left knee if it's a little too hard to hold your balance here standing. Then we'll go ahead and we're going to turn the foot out at the left foot out at a 45-degree angle. And you can widen your stance if you need to. We want both of our hips pointing straight ahead, and we're going to come into our warrior one. So we're going to sweep the arms up alongside the ears. Pull the tailbone down towards the mat. Maybe you can take a little back bend here. Just make sure you're not crunching into your low back. Again, you want weight even between both of your feet. Then you can inhale, come back up, bring the left foot forward, and we'll switch sides. So right foot goes back onto the toes for crescent pose. So left knee is tracking above the left ankle. We're going to come into a diagonal again. And again, you can drop that right knee if you're having trouble with your balance this morning. We're going to wake up that right hip flexor and the right psoas. And then we're going to go ahead and bring that right foot down at a 45-degree angle. Again, we want to make sure you can widen your left foot if you need to. You want your hip bones need to be pointing straight ahead like headlights on a car. So that might mean you have to bring your foot in a little bit further or closer, and that's okay too. We're going to sweep the arms up alongside the ears. Pull that tailbone down towards the mat. Maybe take a little back bend here. Then we'll inhale, come back to center. And then we're going to go ahead and lower down into our tabletop once again. And this time, and then we're going to lower onto our elbows. We want our elbows underneath our shoulders. We've got our fingers clasped in front of us. We're going to move our knees back so they're underneath our hips. And then we're going to do a few rounds where we're going to alternate between a forearm plank variation, and dolphin pose. So we'll actually start in dolphin. We're going to go ahead and lift your hips up towards the sky. So it's basically downward facing dog, but on your forearms. And then we're going to lower the hips down towards the mat, come into plank. Then we're going to move a little bit faster here. So we'll inhale, shoot the hips up and back into dolphin. Exhale, come down to plank pose. Inhale, back to dolphin. Exhale to plank. Inhale to dolphin. Exhale to plank. Be sure you're pulling your belly button in towards your spine here. Inhale to dolphin. Exhale to plank. One more time. Inhale back to dolphin. And exhale to plank. And then go ahead and lower everything down to the mat, including your chest and your head. You can turn your head to one side or the other. Allow your arms to lengthen on either side. You can roll your hips on the mat a little bit. Maybe help release any tension in your low back. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to rotate over onto our butts. So we're going to sit on the mat. Actually, we're going to lay down first. And we're going to bring the feet up towards the sky. And then we're going to lengthen the arms out on either side of us, lifted up off the mat so the palms can actually face each other. And we're just going to take a few crunches here. So we'll inhale and then exhale, crunch the head, the neck, and the shoulders up towards the legs. Exhale back down. We'll do that 4 more times. Inhale up. Exhale back. We'll take an inhale laying down actually. Exhale, crunch. Inhale back. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale to crunch. Inhale back down. 1 more. Exhale, crunch. Inhale back down. You can lower the legs down, feet flat on the mat. And we're just going to take kind of a bicycle variation, slow yoga version. So we'll bring the right leg hovering out in front of us. We're going to bring the left knee in towards us. So if you've got any neck tension, as we switch legs, you could actually leave your head on the mat because the goal is actually to work the lower abdominals, and you can definitely feel that as you switch legs. Otherwise, if you'd like to lift your neck and your head up off the mat, you can place your hands just lightly behind your head, just lightly supporting it. So you're going to use your abdominals to switch sides. You're not going to use your head to switch your head around, or hands to switch your head around. So we'll bring the left foot in, or left knee in, move the right foot out. And then we'll inhale, switch sides, exhale as you crunch. Switch sides. Inhale and switch. Inhale and switch. Inhale and switch. Inhale, switch. Inhale, switch. Inhale, switch. Inhale, switch. And last one, inhale and switch. Then you can lower the feet down all the way to the mat. You could stretch your arms out in front of you. Really stretch out your abdominals here. Feel free to kind of rock your hips from side to side a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and we'll come up to seated position. So we can set up for our boat pose. So we'll start with our feet flat on the mat, and we'll lean the torso back. And if you feel any shaking, that's okay. That's kind of what we're going for. And you can just stay right here where you're already feeling any shaking or tension. Otherwise, you can begin to lift the feet just a little bit up off the mat. You could lift the feet parallel to your knees. You could bring the arms alongside the ears. Remember to breathe here. Then we'll exhale, lower everything down. We'll take a little cat-cow, so we'll inhale, arch the back, exhale, round the back. We'll take 3 breaths like that. Then we'll set up again for our boat pose. So we'll sit up nice and tall and then begin to lean the torso back, lift the feet any amount. You can extend the arms if you'd like. Exhale, lower everything down. We'll take that cat-cow one more time. And we'll come back, place the hands behind the knees, begin to lift the feet any amount, even if it's just your toes touching. Just see where you can challenge yourself. Not too hard, but see where you can grow and expand by challenging yourself. So we'll lift the feet one more time. You can also straighten the legs and keep the arms out to the side. 3 more breaths. We'll exhale, lower everything down. Then we'll take a reverse tabletop here. So we're going to place our hands underneath our shoulders behind us, the feet out in front. And we're going to inhale, lift the torso, lift the butt up towards the sky. So our knees should actually be above our ankles. We'll exhale, lower everything down. And then we'll do just a couple forward folds to kind of, if you've tensed up your low back, can be helpful to kind of release that a little bit. So we'll start out with our feet extended in front of us. We'll inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, fold forward. You can bend the knees if you need to. We'll inhale, come back to center. You can lower the arms down, and then we'll take a butterfly pose next. So soles of the feet together. We'll inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, fold forward any amount. Could just be right here. That's fine. You can bring the hands out in front of you if you'd like. You could give yourself a little foot massage if you'd like. I've always heard the arches of the feet are actually tied to the spine. So I notice a lot of tension in my arches. So I'm always trying to kind of